This is Two Up Front on Australia Live TV, just discussing Ross's favourite subject, George Michael concerts at Etihad Stadium. You're happy that they had the concert there and you didn't care about the ground?
Mate, you're talking.
It's okay to say that you're a George Michael fan.
Okay, I love George Michael.
Oh, good.
That's why I sit next to you.
Hey, listen,
you look as gay as he is.
My brother-in-law flew to Perth to watch him.
Did he enjoy the concert?
Ooh.
He did, actually. He used to be a DJ, my brother-in-law.
Michael Lynch, did you enjoy the concert? Did you go and see George Michael ahead of the Asian Champions League game?
No, I didn't, but I've only got one thing to say. Guilty feet ain't got no rhythm, and you ain't never going to dance again.
That was very quick, Lynch. It's
one of my guilty pleasures, that track.
That's probably the quote of the year on this program, I reckon.
I love it.
Absolutely. How are you, chap?
Oh, good, mate.
Very well, Lynchy.
That was very sharp. Mate,
Very sharp.
Lynchy, tell us what the difference between Melbourne in the Champions League is and Melbourne in the A-League.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a hard one because they're so hard to beat in the A-League and they can't seem to take a trick in the Champions League. I suspect it is that they're probably, in the A-League, they do go forward a lot. They're a very attacking team. They play the ball into feet and get a lot of bodies forward and break quickly and overwhelm teams. And their sort of lack of defensive strength maybe doesn't seem to matter so much. But I think structured football in the Asian leagues, Adelaide show you what you've got to do. You basically got to go away from home or even at home, shut the games down, and try and get one or two chances. And I think maybe Melbourne just leave themselves open a little bit too much. On Tuesday night also, the lack of Kevin Muscat clearly showed up, didn't it? They didn't have anyone there who could sort of direct the traffic and organise the defence and keep the shape and structure going.
Lynchy, looking at the defensive structure of the Melbourne Victory, watching the game, it looked like that they had Berger or Broxham, I think it was Berger on the left, then you had Leia, Vargas, and then Foschini out on the right. But the Seongnam were attacking a lot from Melbourne's right-hand side, their left. And I had a look at it, and Foschini seemed like he was out of position. But then I saw that Angulo wasn't even playing on the right-hand side. So that right-hand side for the Melbourne Victory was wide open. They seemed to have three players in the centre of the midfield, and they were just so lopsided. And that's one thing that Adelaide United don't do. They're very well structured, but the Melbourne Victory do it, and they get caught out.
Yeah, well, they always have sort of had a pretty uneven shape to them, haven't they? Even earlier in the season, before all the changes came, when they had Allsop and previous seasons, they never seem to sort of have two wide players. Matthew Kemp's given them a lot of width in the past, and I think, let's not forget they're missing key players like Kemp and Billy Selesky. I think Kemp, really was missed because he stays wide, doesn't he? And he gives them defensive accountability, and he also gets forward. Interesting, you talking about attacking down Melbourne's
right-hand side.
Right-hand side. I mean, I thought, particularly in the first half, the Korean side made a lot of progress down their left, actually. The number 16, whose name escapes me for a moment.
We're
without
just watching him right now.
The one that slapped Robbie Cruz around.
Yeah, the one that slapped Robbie Cruz around. He's a feisty character, and he's got a lot of energy, and he got forward an awful lot down the right-hand side to create a lot of problems for them, I think. Interesting, that business with Cruz, because I think he fouled Cruz, and he went to give Cruz a hand up, and Cruz elbowed him.
Yeah, he didn't elbow him. He gave him
a slap.
Gave him a brush.
A bit of a backhander.
Yeah, a bit of a backhander.
We've just been watching it on screen, mate.
Oh, have you? Yeah, well, and then he got him right in the Jack's crackers though later, didn't he?
Oh, no, it was only scratching. He was itchy, he said. He said, I'm a little bit itchy, and he gave him a scratch. But
what is it about Robbie Cruz? Every team that plays him...
I'll tell you what it is, Lynch. He's a lovely lad off the field, but when you play against him, he's a little smart ass.
Is he really?
He doesn't mind having a bit of a chat, and he gets on your nerves, and he's got one of those faces, a little bit like mine when I was playing, but one of those faces that you want to kick the hell out of him. That's it. But he's a lovely, lovely lad, and he's a very good player as well, and that annoys people as well.
I think so, yeah. It's interesting because, Charlie Miller didn't miss him when he played Brisbane. He punched him with a haymaker. Morey was getting into him, and then Pantelides sort of smashed him up, and then Terry McFlynn got him. They don't seem to miss him. So, but he is a decent player, and he scored. I think he's an interesting player because everyone thought he was just a wide winger, didn't they? And then, credit where Ernie's due, he's played him centrally, and he's changed his game, and he's become a very dangerous forward for them in the A-League,
Lynch,
but not in the Champions League. I mean, their record is woeful now.
As a kid, Robbie Cruz played up front. He came out of the Institute, and it was only Frank, because of the way Frank structured Brisbane, he wanted to play the three up front. Cruz, he had to do the job.
Okay.
So, but look, he is a talented player.